Hello, everybody. It's a new week. My goodness. Did Kerby Joseph and I become best friends? Are we going to go play karate in the garage? My goodness. What a wild 2 days for your guy, the DOC. Did I do that on social media? Poking the bear a little bit, having a good time. Y'all have been putting the doc's name in your tweets nonstop for the last 3 days. Hey, hey, what's going on? Welcome in to the latest episode of the Lone Wolves podcast. My goodness. Lots to talk about. Kerby Joseph, your concern level, Vita Vea. Obviously, we're going to talk about that over the course of the next probably 45 minutes to 60 minutes. Real fast. I'm doing great. Everyone's asking, and thank you to those that have reached out. Nothing has changed other than when Wednesday comes around, my coverage plans will be different. It's great. I have more freedom. I am now able to conduct myself in the manner in which I see fit even more. And I'm very, very much in a spot where we can talk about things even more freely. And I think now it's clear that you guys can see it. You guys as a consumer can make the choice. If you support independent media, I think you get closer to the truth than you do with an organization that maybe wants to sanitize the message. When you have an organization that does not even give a reporter a chance to explain himself before making the final decision, that was a situation in which you go, oh, wow. You know, it's eye-opening. But again, the doc's fine. And even if if you guys say it, yes, these things happened, but I'm still here. Nothing happened. They didn't yank me off the air. But if they do, if I get the call while I'm on the air, I'll just stay on the air and talk to the boss while I'm talking to you. So let's talk about what happened with your safety. Holy cow. Let me get the early ones in here. Make sure if you're following along, hit the like button. Now more than ever, it's important to like, super chat, to keep the lights on. The independent voice is strong, and On Sports Illustrated moves forward, as always. Did anything change? 6 great stories today, riling it up on the internet, having fun debates, and I'll just leave it at this with those that have a problem with the doc. Doc does not start issues with fans. If someone sends me, hey, this person said something to you, they call you a clickbait clown, I will reply. That's all. That's all it is. Doc, if you go look in the beginning of time, there has been very few situations in which I have started something. I'm just somebody that if you have a comment about me, I have a comment about you. It's as simple as that. But I'm not trying to go to war with the fans. We have our supporters, and I understand the nature of the sports business. We have enough supporters, and thank you to those that have been on the battle lines talking about the stuff that Kerby's saying and saying, hey, he's just a regular guy, and I'm going to lay it all out for you. Because in 2026, Kerby Joseph, in his tweets, laid out the biggest problem that the doc is going to have. Okay? Kerby Joseph laid it out directly. And this is the difference between someone like me and how I approached it versus a fan. And it's real simple. If you see the story when I lay it out, it puts the doc in a position to be backed up against the wall. Bottom line. You know what I mean? The doc versus the fans. I am not going to win a popularity contest against the Detroit Lions. Okay. But when the players misunderstand the fair and balanced way you do reporting, it's a problem. And Kerby Joseph highlighted it to the world. In a series of tweets, the doc was in it, like 40 of them. The invitation's still open, man to man. We can do the tweet thing. That's cute. I told him, man to man, come on the podcast. Say these things to my face. He wanted to tweet me, which you guys saw. I think it was 10-10. I said, hey, man, I called you one of the best safeties in the league. He's like, that guy's hating. So, first and foremost, all right, and the story is simple. The story is simple. Kerby Joseph opened the can of worms when Dr. Jimmy Lau posted, I think Kerby's going to be on the PUP list. He's like, how much you want to bet I'm not on that list? And so everybody took that was hopeful. They took that message and we're very hopeful. Nobody wants to bet Kerby Joseph. Kerby Joseph has more money than all of us. You know, what was I going to bet him? I would have lost the bet, which, as I told him, I said, when he saw, obviously, as a reporter, I'm covering the story. I'm just writing Kerby Joseph's having a wild time on the internet. So he's active on social media over the last 2 days, on a Sunday and into Monday. And even to the point where the Lions analyst, former Lions offensive lineman, TJ Lang's like, bro, you got to take a break, log off. Nonstop discussion. But when he opened the can of worms for the people to comment about it, because he said, bet me. Nobody's going to bet him money. They just took that message as he's not going to be on the PUP list, and he ended up on the PUP list. I ain't say that. Doc, you've been on fire this week. Going to be a good year. It's going to be a great year. Nothing changes. I am me. Uncensored, unfiltered. Whatever that may be. Too hot to handle. Too bold to invite. I'm the media bad boy. I am too hot for the Detroit Lions. They were like, that sizzle, we can't handle it because you can't control me. I thought we could have had at least a, what do you call it? A cohabitation, but doesn't change. Independent media is as strong as ever, and your support of content creators and those covering the team maintains a level of success that we will have. And I appreciate that. Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate those that are in here. Let's get the early roll call. And like I said, Doc's a lover, not a fighter, but Doc's not no sucker. You're not just going to drop bold claims on the internet about me and not understand what you're saying. You can't do, for those that keep saying, I'll just say it for, once a week. You can't do clickbait for 15 years. It's just not possible. Shout out to Nick, Aaron, the editor, Steve O Baby, Phil C, Gavis Con, Jason in Seattle, Aaron, the editor. We'll get to that. Aaron, good to see you in here. My man Riley. Edith Paul, Mishanuga. Let's go. That's it. Simple as that. The doc was too hot to handle. They can't handle media criticism. They can't handle what I think. They can't handle it. The doc files. They can't handle it. But I get it. And Kerby Joseph also doesn't understand the role of the media. Okay. And also, this is where it puts you as a person with your back against the wall. But I will, like I said, Kirby's dropping bombs on me. He wasn't just dropping, hey, man. He's like, you ain't welcome. So let's go through it. First of all, we'll talk about me second. Kerby Joseph invited all of the storm that he created, not because the fans are mad that he's hurt. They were mad because the hope was opened by the interpretation of his bet tweet. Nobody in the fan base is going to bet Kerby Joseph. I want to bet you. How much you want to bet? McDonald's? $20, $30? Half of the fan base is on disability. What are they going to bet you? They were like, oh, good, this means he's not going to be on the PUP list because you had a whole offseason. Guys, the fan base of Detroit is ultimately smart. Is it accurate that the quarterback, Daniel Jones, tore his Achilles a month and a half, 2 months after Kerby Joseph, and he's already back on the field cleared? PUP list, all the offseason to rehab. So people did not want to hear that opening news, especially I think that Kerby Joseph invited it, and then he perpetrated it by saying, well, you guys are haters. I'm separating the real from the unreal. No, you invited those to critique you. You invited that. Okay, it's simple as that. He failed to understand where the other side was coming from. And then he's coming at me saying, you're tripping. I'm not tripping. My reaction and my opinion is, I don't think you should have been tweeting and joking and making light of your health situation. But you got to remember, and this is what I was thinking as we're tweeting last night, he's a 25-year-old young man who is sitting around, and he is at the point now where pretty soon you're going to find out if he can play. And so he's sitting there messaging. And listen, I know Kerby Joseph wants to separate the real from the unreal. There's no such thing as a fan ranking. Okay. And I think what he failed to realize was I was a season ticket holder and a fan of the team, but I morphed into the reporting media role. And we'll talk about that, the difference between me and some of the other media in town that have credentials. So we'll talk about the differences and where I drew the line of like, okay, this is the boundary. But what's your worry level? He's on the PUP list. So he gets on the PUP list and he starts firing off. I like this. I like that. I don't like this. Why are you being real? Why are you worrying about my knee? Yeah, my knee's bad. And then he's like, Doc, why are you writing my knee is bad? So what happens is Kirby's not reading every word of Lions on SI. So he picks out the negatives and goes, you're tripping. And I go, well, wait a minute. You watch half of game tape? We've written you're one of the best safeties in the world 50 times. But we're talking specifically about your injury, and we're not joking around. It's a serious matter. Now, your fans, your hardcore fans, a lot of your super fans are going to hug you and coddle you and tell you these things. But the majority of fans care about your health and your availability. And naturally, we already care about you as a person. But right now, in this 72-hour period, we care more about your health. That's it. Tell us, are you going to ball or not? And don't joke around. That's it. You can have fun. You can do whatever you want. You can do those things, but you invite the anger that you got. It's not separating out listen, those people are going to be fans or not fans. And half of those fans are people that are coming in to troll, and you can troll. You can do all those things. But the emotion is something that, you're pulling the strings of the fans, not the doc. You are. So that's what happened. So what's your concern level? Because Mike Valeni, others, my nephew, friends, they're around to 8.5 concerned. Now you have naturally the others on the other side, more the slappy side. They're like, it's normal. Every player is on the PUP list, and Lions have this happen all the time. He can come off anytime. Calm down. But they fail to realize that nobody's calm until he's off the PUP list and somebody evaluates him on the field. There is no calm. I'm not calm about it because we have a concern level that a degenerative potential knee issue is going to prevent a really good player from playing. But remember, I think a lot of slappies like to be in denial. They like to put out their positive spin on things until the bad news comes. I feel like they can't handle anticipating the potential of bad news. We're just talking about it. We're just speculating, discussing that, wait a minute, starting on the PUP list after a whole offseason is not pleasurable to fans of Detroit. I mean, there's some reporters in town whose career is once a week to write calm down. That's their career. Calm down. Doesn't mean anything. Calm down. Calm down. Yet every year the fans, it wasn't me tweeting them nonstop. Half of you guys were tweeting them, not me. What's your concern level? What's the number? Let's get your reactions to things here. Remember, super chats go right to the front of the line. Kerby loves ball from one repub. I think the games that he's playing is to save money. Jason in Seattle. What is your concern level? 8.5, 8, 7, 6. Are you calm down? 0? Exactly. That's it. My worry level is 10 out of 10. And that's fair to say. Steve O, baby, the doc is the real rated R superstar. Too hot for the Lions. The Lions couldn't handle the doc and media criticism. And oh my gosh, could you imagine that organization under the weight of New York media? The message I got, thank you for all the supporters who messaged me. They said, "Oh my God, you're tame." I said, "I'm tame." They said, "Yeah." They asked me, "What did you do?" I said, "This is what I do. I tell what I share what I think out loud." Like, what did you share? What I think about media, what I think about others, what I think about colleagues, what I think about the Lions, what I think about everything. They're like, "That's it?" Like, "Did you blast anybody?" I said, "No." I said, "I gave my critique on their work, things I like, things I don't like." They're like, "Okay." They're like, "Lions are too soft." I said, "That's kind of how I felt." Especially also to remember when the Dan Campbell question happened, it was the same week the newspaper put a headline out that said, it wasn't me, "John Morton is the Timu Ben Johnson." That was a headline. And they say, "You are too hot to handle. You're unprofessional." I think that that's not the case. I think that they didn't like what I said and who I said it about. And it was easy to say no to me, especially if there's more growing credentials. I think Channel 7 hired somebody new, the radio station, more blogs. Remember, guys, I'm the bad boy of the media. What a crazy novel idea that is. They couldn't handle me. No, they can't handle me. They can't handle the doc. And ask yourself why. That's crazy. That's awesome. Yeah, I thanked him. That's awesome, isn't it? I thanked him. I thank those that are critics. I said to him, "Thank you, man. Hope your health is good. Thank you. Any press is good press. Thank you." Yeah, no, I love it. He put my name in it too. That was awesome. I said, "Thank you." I said, "Listen, when people talk about you, and it just goes to show you that it's a simple formula. Bobby Stark, yada mio. When haters start talking, let's just say I have a core audience that I built from 2013 to 2019. They followed me all through this journey. When haters start talking, 10 haters are going to say, 'Who is this guy Kerby Joseph's talking about? Who is this person the fans are calling crashing out?'" So 10 people come in. Guess what happens? 6 stay. They're just giving me free advertising. Thank you, man. It's all good. It didn't change nothing. And I said, please, it's going to be the same thing. Your fans that follow me are going to tell you things that I say, and then you're going to write about it. But he's not interesting enough for me to cover yet at all. K. Will you accept an invitation back? No, because of what happened now today. God again gave me the understanding of where this is at. Okay. There's a clear difference between what the athletes want and what I want to do. And there's no purpose. But I will say, I want to thank Kerby Joseph because there's a big difference. There's a big misguided difference. The athletes don't know. They don't know me. They don't know. They know what they're scrolling on Twitter. 25-year-old young athlete is scrolling on Twitter reading my headlines. He's not reading me. He doesn't know my journey. He doesn't want to talk to me man to man on a podcast. He is reading a headline and going, he's tripping. Oh, he got booted out. So he doesn't know the full context. So the answer is no. I can do my job freely. I can write. I'm doing podcasts. I can do videos. Nothing is different. Aaron, the editor. What the fuck? What the fuck? Kerby, what the hell, man? What's up, luscious sources? What's your concern level about Kerby Joseph? Smash the like button. We want to be at 50 now. The season's about to kick off. You got to be at 50 likes, guys. Otherwise, I might scale down to once a week. I might take hiatuses like some of the media on Twitter. I can't handle you guys on social media, or some of the content creators. I need time for myself. And Bobby, how was it? I thanked him. I didn't watch it. I've not had a time to go through it all. Was it just the same kind of thing? He deserved it. He misinterpreted Max Crosby, all that kind of stuff that was so incorrect. I didn't get a chance to watch it. I don't think I will, but I love it. Put a whole hour about your friendly DOC. So if you find it in your heart to want to defend me, it would mean a lot if you just said, "Hey, he's a regular dude. He keeps it real. You can talk to him about it." But like I said, I replied. I think he is not informed. He didn't even know that content creator didn't even know that that was the real Kerby Joseph tweeting. So we can't even start. It's not on the same level. We can't even start a discussion. You know, when you start talking to people that use the word fake news, it's a pointless endeavor. They don't even know. We can't even start with the person didn't even know that Kerby Joseph's Twitter account changed, and they shared it publicly. So it's a non-starter for me. But yeah, nothing's going to change. They will keep talking about me, which is fine. Lions can't handle luscious sources. No, they can't handle it. And the media can't handle it either. They can't handle it. They're jealous, they're frustrated, and it's easier to have more buttoned up people than louder people with nothing to lose. It's just simple as that. Ask yourself, really, in the end, if your media is not walking that line and being talked to about losing their credential, are they really doing their job? Remember, a lot of the media want to high five the players and, you know, and talk about them behind their backs instead of right to their face. What's your concern level? Now, the biggest question mark is, all right, let me get this one point in here. When he does come back, it's, Dave Burkett did his preview video. He said it's a degenerative issue. When he does come back, is he going to play at an elite level? That's my concern. I think he'll play. I'm just a little concerned. Is he going to be the all-pro Kerby Joseph? Is he going to be able to play 17 games? I think a lot of media are starting to believe, okay, maybe the practice schedule might be modified so that it's kind of like Calvin Johnson where he just showed up and played and the practice time is limited and he's going to be – Kerby Joseph is going to live probably on the injury list in terms of during the week. He'll be questionable, doubtful every week. But hopefully he suits up in a handful of games to compete. Obviously, your concern level is most people are saying, I hope he gets back on the field. I do think he gets back on the field, but can he produce at a high level? All pro. Do we get Kerby Joseph back, the real one? Oh, no. Yeah, sell. Dear Scott Harris, sell. Yeah, and if you guys listened to it, was it good? Was it all negative? What did he say? I'm curious. I love he spent the whole time about the same subject. No. Okay, here's a little secret, okay? Don't tell anybody, let your sources. Okay? Don't tell anybody. But as a media member with an opinion, if you have one program spend an hour telling everybody, wow, we lost a good one, and a whole other one saying, hey, this guy's a clown, you've said something. You've had an impact. Okay, but the person that's trashing, I wish would trash more on the merits of accuracy. Because again, you're not allowed to make up sources. You're not allowed to make up information. The reason why I was not back is because I use my words to critique people. That's it, which they are freely to do to me. Okay, if the Lions can't handle me saying, I listen to the Pride of Detroit podcast, I think it's sometimes easy for me to listen to that and fall asleep. If that is worthy of losing a credential, I just laugh at them. I'll just laugh right in their face, okay? Because they are free to talk about me. And also remember, okay, when the standards aren't fair, remember when if you guys remember that story, when Dan Campbell and pre-snap motion, people don't understand, okay? There's a full picture here of media critiques. That organization also has 10 writers. When I traveled to, and I'm going to tell you a behind the scenes story. When I traveled And this is why I felt comfortable in my relationship with the Lions. When I traveled, because it was brought up to me that, oh, your question to Dan Campbell was awkward. Okay. And here's where, like I said, it stings a little bit. When I went to Baltimore, paid to travel to Baltimore, sitting there, I asked Dan Campbell a positive question. He sits there, and remember, his comment was, Dog, I thought you were going to ask me about pre-snap motion. Everybody laughed in the room. I have it on video. I shared it. Everybody laughed in the room. It was lighthearted. The media started going, ha ha, look at him. Okay, including that organization that I talk about. Their writers were like, he's the worst. Ha ha, pile on, Dan. Okay, so it's good for them to tweet and keep a credential, but I can't say their podcast is boring. There's a standard. And when I walked in the locker room, the media PR guy looked at me and we laughed. He goes, ha ha. And I said, all good. That's what I thought. Give and take. Okay. That's the realness of it. Give and take. He looked at me. We laughed. He goes, ha ha ha. Because Dan pointed it out to a national audience. Why didn't you? I thought you were going to ask me about pre-snap motion. Ha ha ha. And their writers piled on me. The Slappies, Joe Chapp piled on me. You suck. You're an idiot. Okay. But when I do it, it's unprofessional. You see the difference? But I can handle it. I don't want to be there. If it's not an even playing field, they can talk shit to me, but I talk shit and it's unprofessional. You see the difference? It's not the same playing field. Not the same. And when it's not the same, that's not the game for me. Like if I can talk shit to Clinton and Clinton can write back, we're good. But when their people can go on their platform and say, this guy's a loser, he's the worst, and they're interviewing Penei Sewell and says, you're a shithead, you're a moron, you're this, but it's not fair for me to reply. That's not an even playing field. I'm the unprofessional one. I respect that. Their organization talks shit to me. I talk shit to them. It's the same thing, but I was giving my opinion on things. And so that's where I feel blindsided. That's all. They let Dan Campbell looked in the camera and said, I thought you were going to ask me about pre-snap motion. Everybody laughed. So I thought that issue was put to bed. The media PR guy looked in my face and like kind of chuckled. Ha ha. And I chuckled. I said, it's all good. It's all good. I owned it. I'm good, man. I'm blessed. God bless me. Listen, I just thought it was tit for tat. Different. There was nothing. There was no real emotion behind any of it. It's like, great, you can say those things happily. We block each other on X. We keep it moving. You know what I mean? We keep it moving. But it's not fair for one organization to be able to stay around and talk shit about me, and then I do the same thing. It's unprofessional, unbecoming. Sure. It's just, like I said, I always thought I was on an even playing field of shit talking. But I wasn't. And you can go look. It's all public record. Everybody sees everything. Yeah, damn, pile on, John. Pile on him, pile on, John. Pile on. Okay, so you guys' concern level. I want to know in the chat, will Kerby Joseph reach the status of where he was? I don't know. My doubts are a little bit creeping in. I hope he proves this wrong. That's the big concern. Now, Kerby Joseph, I think, made the wrong move by doing all this. He's out there, and I get it. First of all, I can't be hypocritical because I'm doing the same thing, you know. But if Kerby Joseph, a representative of the Detroit Lions, is doing that, wouldn't you say his behavior is unprofessional? Talking shit. It's the same thing. This is what the internet is. What was different from what Kerby Joseph did than what I did? What I do? It's the same thing. Kirby's like, you ain't invited. Who's talking? You ain't in the club. I was like, I'm fine, Kerby, man. My man. I'm healthy. I'm young. I think if you guys notice, I've dropped like 10 pounds since the offseason. I'm good. But let's talk about real fast before the Vita Veda conversation. Let's talk about this. All right. Kerby saying I'm tripping. I'm not real. I'm not down for the cause. The doc ain't real. The doc ain't a real one. And trust me, we'll do a lot of feedback too. I know it's a big part of the show, always will be, but smash the like button. The doc ain't a real one, according to Kerby Joseph. It's real simple, guys. The biggest sacrifice I had to make walking through that door in 2020 was my mission was to disrupt and to be holding people accountable and giving my opinion. That's what I came to the table with. And it was simple. You talk shit about me, I talk shit about you. It was good back and forth. I looked at it like it was on equal playing fields. Okay. Now, Kerby comes in and he's like going through, I probably just typed in Kerby Joseph on Twitter and going through everything. And he's like, dog, why are you writing about me? One, because people are interested. So my thesis was simple. If it's interesting to me, I'm going to write about it. It was real simple and basic. I was like, oh, Kerby's going ham on. And I'm like, oh, he's playing games on here because he's explaining himself. He's like, oh, I was talking about literally bet me. The fans of Detroit are not stupid. They're like, dude, we don't care about that. We care about your health. Why are you doing that? Only the slappies that want to hug him and caress him and invite him over for cookies are like, oh, it's okay. He just wants you to actually bet him money on the internet. It's like, okay, let's talk real here. We're real people. And real people said, I don't want to hear from you. Bet me that I'm going to be on the list, because that came across as I'm going to not be on the list. So now he's like, you are banned. Ha ha. You're not a real one. You're beefing with the team. There's no beef. They made the decision. I'm happy with it. I tell my side. They tell their side. If I see the Lions, I'll give them a big smile. Be like, you should have did that shit sooner. I'll be like, thank you. You're putting money in my pocket. Thank you. I earned my journalism stripes from them kicking me out. You didn't like what I was saying. Tell me where I was wrong. Simple as that. Tell me where I was wrong. You didn't like what I was saying, and you decided that that was not something you wanted to be in your room. So, Kerby Joseph is like, this dude, he said a lot of things and all of it's fine, but he said one thing that makes no sense and is irrelevant to the whole conversation. Okay, it's irrelevant to the entire conversation. All right, and you can find it, first of all, for those that don't understand social media, that are maybe ages old or 100 years old, to understand that was the real. I spent 15 minutes with two fans that didn't even understand that was the real Kerby Joseph. How do you start to debate someone or respond to their content when they don't even know the difference between a fact and not a fact? So if your content creator posts on X, that's not the real Kerby Joseph, you just miss them. They're irrelevant. Okay. They can't decipher a fact from a non-fact. And yet they're the ones that are posting and commenting on who's posting facts. Think about that for a second. Somebody that doesn't know that a star safety on the team is tweeting, can't find that out, is the one weighing in on what's a fact and what's not, and is questioning who's posting sources. Do you know how crazy that sounds? The person who can't figure out in 5 seconds if the safety is real or not is commenting, this guy's posting fake stuff. That is hilarious to me and should be hilarious to you, the smart Lions fans. It's really funny. All right. This is the one that bothered me the most. All right. He could say whatever. You're this, you're that. You can't come in. I'm never coming on your podcast. Kick rocks. All of it's fine. This is the one that bothered me because it goes to the principle of where my back is against the wall. Okay. Here's the difference. All right. Okay. Remember, let's clarify. All right. Let's clarify. This is Ziano Reeves, Zoop 31. For those of you that don't understand social media, not smart enough to understand social media, this is the real Kerby Joseph. Okay. And again, if any of you have questions, you can ask me, because most of the time I have not fallen for a fake account. So for those of you that can't figure it out, come to a place that does. And if you want to follow somebody that is not able to figure that out, you're going to be in trouble. So look at this tweet from Kerby. Okay. Bro got a podcast on the Lions and he be beefing with the team he reporting on. Bruh, finna be on the Eagles fan so fast. Bruh, finna go be an Eagles fan. Okay. The biggest thing that was tough for me was I had to put my fandom of the Detroit Lions at the door in 2019. I couldn't act like that. I didn't say give me selfies. I didn't say come to my house and barbecue with me. I didn't say those things. It was, would you like to come talk ball with me on a podcast? Would you give me a couple of minutes of your time to talk ball? I didn't tell them how much I loved them. I didn't tell them how great they were. I didn't stroke their ego. I asked them questions. Okay? So, what does this have to do with anything? I am not going to go be a fan of the Eagles. I'm going to continue to spit facts and give my opinion on things. Okay? Second of all, tell me how I compete with this. Okay? You see me, collared shirt. I spoke to Colin Freeman and I said, he's like, I see you guys, like Colin Freeman complimented me. He said, you show up here and you have a collared shirt on all the time. And I respect that. I said, yeah, it's tough for me. I can't show up here in a t-shirt. Okay. So now Kerby is clowning me. Fine. But here's why. Because here's the difference. Here's the next wave of reporters that are coming up and how they're going to do business, which should scare you guys. Here's what Kerby wants. Okay. And this is the new wave of fan. And if this is what you want in your media, you can pick and choose. Okay. But this is what Kerby wants. All right. It's quite frankly this simple. This is a fan site, Honolulu Blues. They do good work. They have a site, it looks like. They've partnered with a media company. Great. They're doing their thing. That's great. But it's more on the other side of reporting in regards to casualness and supporting things and giving their opinions from a super fan perspective. So, Honolulu Blues gives their opinion. I believe Kerby Joseph will be ready for week 1. Kerby co-signs that, but he kept saying my knee's in pain. So I'll find it here real fast. But here's the part where it's troublesome for me in that when you go up against super fans, then it makes me look like the ultimate hater. That's the trouble. When you're dealing with this is different. I never did this. Okay. And here it is. I never acted like this. I kept it professional. Okay. Now this is this reporter going, okay, now how do I compete with this? If I want to act like this or not? Okay. This is somebody covering a team. Is this what you guys want as media? He does great work. They have a following. Being a fan is easy. So I'm taking a harder road critiquing the team. Okay. Look, casual, doing an interview in his sweats and at a liquor store. And then he tweets him, been a fan since day one and became a bigger fan when you let me give you an interview at Top Shelf Liquor. Okay. This is media. This is a different form of media. I took a different stance. Okay. But how am I supposed to compete with that? Kerby wants this. He wants me to show up in a t-shirt and some shorts and be like, yo, man, I'm a big fan. I never let that out. Okay. I think I barely took 10 pictures of any interaction I had with players. Barely in 7 years. Okay. So this is the spot I'm in. They want this. Bro, I'm a fan. Bro, I'm a fan. Okay, well, I can't compete with that. And I never can. Okay. And so, look, let me tell you some other stories. Okay. 2 stories real fast before we get to Vita Vea. I'm in the locker room last year, and a television reporter, is up on a player. And this adult woman was enthralled with the shorts of a player. And she walks up and is touching him in an area that was not exactly professional. And I almost started laughing. I almost had a hysterical laughing fit because she was touching and pointing in some spots that she shouldn't have been touching. That's not professional. I almost started laughing. And like 4 years ago, when Chase Lucas was on the team, you're looking and you're around, and I look in the locker room, and there's a media member like bro hugging Chase Lucas like his uncle. And I'm looking like, oh man, I said to myself then, I can't compete with that. I'm not allowed to touch the shorts in those areas around the buttonhole. She was like kind of pinching. She was pinching the buttonhole of the player. And I said, well, I obviously can't do that. But that's professional. And another media member is out there bro hugging Chase Lucas. I think they might have been crying together. I love you, Chase Lucas. Are you coming over to swim? I was like, how? So in my brain, how do you compete with that when you're critiquing the team? So you have super fans and super media doing that. It's virtually impossible for me to critique the team the way in which you're supposed to do it and give your opinion freely. Again, just ask yourself, why did only one site, ours, write the Lions should cut Terry and Arnold? It's not what's written, it's what's not written. Why is stuff not being written? Ask yourself that. And I'll leave it at that. I can't bear hug. I'm sorry, Kerby Joseph. I can't act like a fan of the team. That's not my job as the reporter. Okay? But if you did your homework, Kerby Joseph, this is what bothers me. Because you don't know nothing about me. You know the 5 minutes I spent asking you for an interview and talking. You don't know shit about me. You don't do your homework. You see a tweet like everybody else and you formulate an opinion, but you don't know shit about John McEnroe. You don't know my story. You don't know my history. You don't know my work effort. You don't know nothing. Okay? And if you ask me, okay, now I'll share. Kerby Joseph. I'm going to share with you my Instagram. Okay? If this doesn't say I am not going to join the Eagles crew, get the fuck out of here. Okay? Let me tell you something. Get to know the person before you talk. And I was just giving my opinion on your tweet. And you were giving a false opinion of the guy reporting from Detroit Podcast. All right, let me show you my Instagram. What does this tell you? Because I have facts here to tell you. I don't need every day to prove how big a fan I am. I'm from Detroit. I wear a Detroit Sports Podcast hat every day. What does that tell you? I work in Detroit. I cover the Lions. All right, let's see if I still know my Instagram. All right, but the doc doesn't have to prove he's a fan of the team. I had to put that aside. But like I said, I never let the players get to know me. I just wanted to talk ball with them. But that's the only regret I have. They don't know me. They don't know me from a hole in the wall. They look at it like, you're a hater now. You write negative things, you're a hater. If you interview us in your underwear, you're down with the cause. You're the super fan. So come on, man, get to know the guy before. And I'll share with you. Does this make me now the super fan again? Look at this shit. My Instagram is private. That's my cousin in a pajama party. God, I love him. He's cool. Look at that. All right, that's mine. All right, does this give me the cred, Kerby? All right, now that I'm not credentialed, I don't have to prove to you I'm a super fan. I was a season ticket holder of the team. And I'm actually, in some sick fuck way, I'm thinking that God made it so that I don't have to be there because maybe I was the jinx and the Lions win the Super Bowl this year. Does this give you the cred that I'm down with the cause? Come on, man. I don't need to prove I'm a super fan. I mean, come on. That's the difference. I try to be professional. I am the biggest fan there is. I am me. And I had to bury that to be a someone to answer for the fans. Okay? If you understand it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But I'm the biggest fan. I was. I worked my ass up to get in there. And then when I'm right there, I have to put it aside to ask tough questions and to make them be mad at me. Man, that's tough. But I'm proud of myself. I did it. I never let my silly slappy side out once. Not once. Maybe one time I took a picture with Golden Tate at a casino at the very end of his career. But that was it. So, what's easier? Being a slappy fan and praising the team 24/7? Context. Here's the context of why Brad Holmes is great. Dude, your whole media is talking about the cornerback room being a question mark and the top beat writers saying they didn't do enough. But you come in as a slappy and say, "Oh, the Brad Holmes just he was good. He didn't know." The whole media knew. The day it happened, I was getting attacked on the social media because I was telling people, "Guys, it's not over." The fans were attacking me saying, "Hey, this is done. The defense attorney, it's good. You're just elevating. You're just a sensationalizer." I said, "Guys, it's not over. I told you, this audience, not over." So, I'm a sensationalizer. You know what I mean? So it makes it hard when 15 people are like, "It's over, calm down. It's over, calm down." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, I'm panicking. Something bad's about to happen." So it's not a fit. So now I get to be myself and real with you guys, and I can tell you, okay, there ain't no fucking chance in hell I'm gonna root for the fucking Eagles. Fuck you. Get the hell out of here. The Eagles? I at least like the Rams. There is no fucking way I'm cheering for the Eagles. I cheer for these teams: the Tigers, the Lions, the Pistons, Red Wings, and Michigan State. I ain't fucking cheering for the Eagles. Get the fuck out of here with that. You don't know me. You don't know anything about me. And I'd love it if you came on the podcast, but you don't have to. But we're talking about one issue. I didn't like that you were tweeting. That's all. uh, Go be a fan of the Eagles. That one hurt. This bra gonna be a fan of the Eagles. The Eagles? Now, I'd like to maybe cover them in that sense. I could say things. They may not throw me out. They'd be like, "Welcome in." The fans of the Eagles would be like, "You're a bitch. You don't say nothing." you know? Listen, now that it's over, I can tell my side of things a little bit better. I'm not a fan. Like I said, I turned that off, but I want the best for the Detroit Lions. It's clear. Detroit Sports Podcast. Simple as that. But I had to turn that off to be professional. But is it unprofessional to talk about your colleagues? They were talking about me. But when I do it loud and they hear it. And I let the people I wanted to hear it. Was that good? No, that's just real. Like I said, when your back's up against the wall and it's all based on misperception, it's funny. It's funny at the highest level. You're telling me, the guy with the Detroit Sports Podcast, born in Detroit, covering a team that sucked ass for 50 years, that I'm going to go root for another team. Because why? I said, I don't think you should be tweeting about health because it's pissing off fans, because a couple girls are hugging you and telling you you're the best, you'll be fine. No, half the fan base is worried about your knee. Seriously. So that's all. It's simple. It was simple, easy stuff. I was not in agreement with the tweeting. Keep it quiet. That's it. We ain't betting on your knee. We ain't betting. And I told him I don't bet wrong. I was going to bet based on what he tweeted. No, you're not going to be on the pup list. Did anybody pick up on that? Did anybody make a bet with him? No. We all were mad, like, oh no, he's on the pup list. He activated the emotion and then complained when he saw emotion. It doesn't work like that. So, but bottom line, I do hope Kerby Joseph, I do sincerely hope Kerby Joseph returns to all pro status. It only helps the Detroit Lions. That's what I told him. So in the end, you can go read it. I think it was a 10-10 round. He got some haymakers. I got some back. But he did acknowledge that I was happy if you saw it. He said, I said, hey, man, it's the same guy that was interviewing you smiling. He's like, yeah, but you're tripping now. I'm not tripping. I'm just reporting what I'm saying. I felt like you were playing some mind games. So that's all. Having some fun with it. All right, let's get some feedback, and then we're going to talk Vita Vea after a break. All right, thank you guys. Super chats go right to the front of the line. What do you think about Kerby Joseph? What do you think? Did I get bodied by Kerby? Dude, it's all great. He was oh, and by the way, it was great because he was the first one. Now it's some weird. I don't understand it. Kerby Joseph was the first player in the 8 years to engage in a conversation with me on social media. The first, extensively. How did I do? I think I did well. Talking to one tough macaroon cookie here, baby. I can stand up for myself. But the problem is, like I said, it's one of those deals where, you know, when you're at a bar fight and you see it all the time. You're sitting down with your lady, guy across the hall away is being drunk and obnoxious. He's like, hey girl, and he's disrespecting your lady. You're trying to walk away. Hey girl, what's going on? You're with the shorty shrimp macaroon. Come on over here. You're like, hey man, come on, man, relax. Hey man, shrimp here got banned from the Lions. Come on over here. I'm a super fan. Kerby loves me. I got a selfie with Kerby. I got an interview with Kerby. Hey. You're like, come on, man, chill out. Come on, man, chill out. It's all good, man. It's all good. He's like, come on, girl, give me your number. And I finally stand up and go, what the fuck? And I get up like this. And then the second I get up, the big bouncer takes me out. I'm like, did you not hear all the other stuff that was being said? I stand up finally for myself and they throw me out. That's what happened. You know what I mean? I'm a lover, not a fighter. But if you have a comment for me from your outlet, the doc's going to have some comments for you in your outlet. And guys, remember, I viewed it as a healthy thing. It was great. I thought it was like tit for tat. I thought it was cool. But you took me out. That's the analogy. I stood up for myself. You know, they hammered me for the Dan Campbell question. They hammered me publicly. You suck. You shouldn't. They questioned my right to be there. And then they wondered why I chirped back. All I did was chirp. Did I hurt anybody? I hurt some people's feelings, maybe. I might have hurt some people's feelings. Oh no. Oh, I love that. I called that show a lot. I won Trash Talking Tuesday 3 times. I won What's Your Beef with Stoney and Wojo once. And me and my friends crushed 800 wings because we had an all-you-can-eat wing package for $300 in Southgate. And they had said, they'd never seen so many people eat that much. I brought 2 big, huge lineman type guys and myself. We crushed 800 wings in like 3-4 hours. It was great. Yeah, I could talk smack a little bit, but this is more of my natural flow. You know what I mean? How am I going to talk to Kerby like this in the professional setting when everybody's watching? You know, so that's why I invite him to the podcast. The best part was I'm inviting him to the podcast, and I'm like, come on, talk to me man to man. This is cute, you know, doing what I do on the internet, but let's talk man to man. You can critique me to my face. I can tell you why I acted the same way. We can have a real banter. Instead, we're just 2 dudes tweeting. You know, how funny is that? Silent surface. No, it's good. Word of advice: when someone used to be in the military, if they know a button to push, it'll get pushed and pushed constantly. You should not let people know your button. It's not a button. I don't think I ever felt anything about it. It was tit for tat. Like I said, you say things. Okay, great. I can say things too. You know, like I said, you still see me smiling. I'm pretty happy. Like I said, I just thought I wanted the playing field to be even. Like at least you would say, hey, if one media member has a problem with you, sit down with them and say, hey, what's the problem? Don't you want to learn the problem? Which in the grand scheme of things was nothing. I just give my opinions on things. You didn't like what I say? Tell me where I was wrong. Tell me what I said that was factually inaccurate or wrong. You don't like opinions. That's not good. All right, let me take a couple minute break. When we get back, Vita Vea, more of your Kerby Joseph thoughts. Super chats go right to the front of the line. Are you liking this? Are you liking the insider analysis of what's going on? Again, man, could you imagine if I touched the shorts of a player? Could you imagine you see the doc? Media in Detroit are hugging lovingly the player. The second I hug a lovingly, a photo comes out, Doc's trying to molest the player. That's the difference. That's the exact difference. That guy, oh man, he's so nice. He's sweet. Doc's bear hugging. Get off him. Stop trying to have sex with the players. There'd be a whole memorandum. They'd be like, the professional standard is you don't hug players. I'd be like, I was trying to get some money. I was trying to get some, sugar daddy money. I was trying to bang the player for some money. You know what I mean? So that's the difference. He's like, I love you, Chase. I love you. And I'm like, I said to myself, I can't compete with this. I said it in my head. I love you. I love you. I love you, Chase. I love you. And I was like, okay. So no, part of it's exaggerated, but I mean, they were hugging. I don't think I hugged a player. And who knows? By then, my memory could be crazy, but that's what I remember. I remember the hug. So like I said, I had a good time with it. I think there's maybe a little double standard. The Free Press can write. John Morton's a Timu Ben Johnson. I think that was really worse than anything I ever said. Is that worse? Anything you've ever read from me, sensationalized. John Morton, Timu Ben Johnson. That's right up there. So I thought, oh, we got a line. And that probably was the line. I don't think I crossed that one. So I can sleep comfortable at night. Any of you guys got a website? Aggregated. Macaroon says he wants to fuck the players. Aggregate it wrong. Now, one of you just cover me wrong. Macaroon reveals he wanted to bang the players in weird rant. So I don't think I've seen any fake news about me, so that's good. But if one of you gets a website and make it a fake one, it'd be funny. Just make a fake Lions website and just hyper exaggerate headlines, and it'd just be the funniest shit ever. You probably make a little bit of money. All right. Don't misconstrue that one. All right, I'll be back in a couple minutes. That's funny. Hopefully you're enjoying this. If you're not, let me know. There's a nice little audience here. Make sure you smash the like button for the DOC. We're just talking friendly. Gloves are off. Doc is telling the stories. Nothing to hide. We'll be back. All righty. 8:08 on a Monday. Talking Kerby Joseph. Talking concern level. Appreciate the support, really, honestly. It is what it is. Love this Unshackled Doc, the number 5 podcast in town. He called Cap on the DOC. Lions Fan Syndicate. He called the Cap on the DOC. Is the Doc capping today? Doc be capping. Better than rapping, that's for sure. All day. And again, that's the hilarity of my life, is people that don't even know the difference between a fake Twitter account and a real one are the ones that are opining that they know what is reported real or not by the Doc. That is funny to me. But you can follow whoever you want. Wow. Doughboy Steve, thin-skinned millionaires. No way it ever happened. Yeah, they are. People are fragile. The world's fragile. But listen, that's the only reason why I share it publicly is if that's the room I'm in, there should literally be 15 of me. But there's not. There's 15 of the slaps that want to hug the players so they can talk to them. That's the only difference. That's just a massive uphill climb. Now, of course, there's a lot of media that ask tough questions, but not tough enough. Because they probably already know. They're smart enough to know that if they push that line, they're going to get their credential yanked. It can happen. But your friendly DOC did not have that problem. I pushed it to the limit. I'm the last real journalist in Detroit. I'm very proud of myself. Like I said, I earned my journalism stripe on July 23rd, 2026. I can now say I'm a journalist. Say things and write things that they don't want. Talk about things that they don't want. When the Lions drafted John Morton, he was a Temu version of Isaac Bruce. Ooh, that's hot. They probably read that and was like, oh, we can't have that. You know what? I blame you, Derek. That's what happened. Remember? I told you, listen, subconsciously for the last 6 months, I've been saying, I came on your show, drank. I said, if I keep talking to you, they're not going to give me any questions. And I said in September, I said, I'm probably going to lose this. I probably already had a feeling. I said it into a microphone after the Dan Campbell. I'm like, I'm just going to keep treating this like every visit's my last one. You kind of knew because the hill's different. It's a different world out there. Just look at ESPN is now in bed with NFL Network. How the hell in this day and age in 2026, a coach can get into a car accident and 11 days later it's reported? Journalism's whack now, guys. That's whack. 11 days later, matter of public record? Something is wrong with the journalism field. They're trading access so that they can write their stories. Hey, we'll hold off a day or two on the hottest story. We won't. It's not what they're writing, it's what they're not writing that should scare you. Not what they're writing, but the stuff that they put out is good. But what they're not writing should scare you. Can you imagine we regress to the SOL and history repeats itself? That's why I bailed. Oh no, my buddy did the same thing. The buddy I was a season ticket holder with went to the Chiefs and the Broncos. Doc Sandusky. Yeah, no, listen. I can't control whether people respect me or they don't. I just, like I said, the only thing, what I said, what I did, how I acted, the only thing I would have liked would have been one simple text. That's all. Hey, you're close to the sun. Hey, we don't like it. But listen, if you got somebody that's going to puff up your program all day long and you got me, it's all good. Habibi, I'm sorry you lost your access, but realness comes with a price. No doubt about it. And it's actually not a bad thing. It's not, for me, it's not a bad thing. I'm not into coddling millionaires. We deserve a winner. That's right. All right, the story now that everyone wants to know about, and probably we'll write it for tomorrow. You guys tell me. You can still talk about it. You can still talk about Kerby Joseph. Was he right to be having fun like this? A lot of fans are like, a lot of fans always just support everything that they do. Everything they say is great. Everything that they talk about is great. They're great. Doc sucks, and that's that. So you're not gonna. I'm never going to think I'm going to win a battle against the Lions. That's not going to happen. But again, you can't come at me with the perspective of, man, you're a reporter, you're hating on the team. No, I was just asking some critical questions, wondering about things, and sharing my opinion on nearly everything. That's all. Like I said, I wear it with a badge of honor. Guys, I want Vita Vea. Half the league wants Vita Vea. But, man, he's expensive. Do you think Vita Vea will end up being traded to one of the big dogs who pick up the phone and make deals like the Rams or the Eagles? I think a lot of people are looking at it and going, man, that's appealing. 17 to 18 million dollars. That's a lot. That means you have to release somebody. And here's the problem. Problem is, he wants an extension. Bobby J got in. He said on X, there's 0% chance of this. Just stop. It's not a position of need, and we're broke. This is a player that every time we play the Buccaneers, Dan Campbell identifies the big man in the middle. That's Vita Vea, big bodied run stuffer. That's a legit addition. That solidifies your defensive line. That makes you almost guaranteed to be competing in the NFC North. He is a player that even at 31 years old, you could think, but the problem is you can't trade for him without giving him the extension. So would you not extend Laporta, not extend Branch, and get Vita Vea? Not extend Gibbs? This is the tough part that the fans can't handle. If he was 28, for sure. 31, might got to roll with what you got and draft somebody you got to draft the Vita Vea. That's the problem. That's the problem when you start paying your own, because some good players are going to become available. Is there a player on the Lions that this could happen to in the last year of his deal? The only two are Rock Ya-Sin and Malcolm Rodriguez that are really big time. So the Lions have done a pretty good job. There aren't too many players that are going to request a trade. What do you think? Vita Vea. Man, I love the thought of it, right? It excites you. Maybe it'll make the doc talk positive so Kerby Joseph will like him. And again, too, this is the tough part if you want to be in the media. And you got to have thick skin. Because look, Kerby blasted me for 2 days straight. And all the fans are like, yeah, cook him. I'm sitting there smiling going, oh, man, Kerby Joseph's talking about me. The problem is this, okay? If you want to be a journalist, I'm going to give it to you real. When you write nice puff pieces about the players, they love you. They'll hug you. They'll hug you back. When you critique them, they treat you like bottom-feeding scum that should go root for the Eagles. Imagine that's the playing field. And you're like, someone asked me, would you go back to that? No, I don't want to go back to that. I can say what I want now, and they can tweet me. That's the world we live in. And I'll still ask every one of them that bombs me, come on the podcast, say it to my face. It makes things a little easier now. You can be more honest. I'm not going to talk to you, John. You made a video. Listen, now that it's out in the open, I'll tell you. Not only, real fast before the video, I'm going to read your feedback. Guess what happened? You ever wonder why a lot of videos don't get taken from the Lions media? Guess what happened? The macaroon rule happened. All right. And this was probably the start of my subconscious belief that a credential is whack anyway. All right. There is no rule that says you can't make commentary on the videos you shot from the Lions practice. There's no rule. There was no rule of that. All right. Actually, now I'm going to say it. Now it's out in the open. This is how soft your Lions team is. It's actually kind of funny because the media poked me about it. It's hilarious because they thought it was going to impact me in any kind of bad way. But I have access to the best equipment in the world. I have $2,000 cameras. The Lions, I used to take a video of cell phones and take cell phone videos of practice, as did every other media. There was a practice involving after Derek Barnes missed the Dak Prescott tackle. He missed it, and he got a lot of heat for it. So there was the next practice. I take a video of him hitting a practice dummy. He knocks it over. I got a video of it. It's great. And this is the Alex Anzalone story. Knocks it down. So I take a video. It's during the shooting window appropriately. This is how, actually, this is your Lions team. This is your Lions team. And it was so weird because it was intended to hurt me, but it actually helped me because I was the only one that started taking made the adjustment. The Lions, this is your Lions team. Thinking about this now out loud. This is your Lions team, how soft they are. That's pretty sad. I take a video of Derek Barnes smashing the dummy. And I said in my commentary, guys, buckle up. Buckle up. The big bad doc said, oh man, good drill. I hope he sees Dak Prescott in that pad. I hope he hits it like Dak Prescott. I hope he sees it. Hope he thinks of Dak Prescott in this drill. Oh my God. I thought nothing. I'm like, this is giving my opinion. But of course, it's like reopening an old wound for that player. So I go in the locker room. Alex Anzalone confronts me. I'm like, what's wrong? He looks at me man to man. I said, what? Nothing's wrong. I'm like, what's wrong? He's like, you're trying to be funny? I said, no. I said, I hope that he thinks that this drill will get it so he gets it next time. And I said, I'll just talk to Derek Barnes. I said, I'll just talk to Derek. I talked to Derek and he gave me a story. Man to man. You think I back down? Big, tall linebacker looking down at me and I'm tired and I'm looking. I'm like, why is he? They took it negatively. I was like, no, if that happened to me, every time I hit that fucking pad, it'd be like, Dak Prescott, fuck you. Dak Prescott, fuck you. Your soft Lions couldn't handle that from a 5'4" reporter. So I get a story, no problem. Next week, they cancel cell phone videos in practice. No more cell phone videos. They say, if you want to take video, go ahead. Bring a professional camera, which I had 16 of them. So if you saw those videos on my Twitter page, it's because I brought a camera and started shooting. So it actually, thank you, Lions. It actually, the macaroon rule, as dumb as you put that in there, helped me because the other media didn't bring camera until last year. They said, oh man, they figured it out. And they go, oh man, macaroon's posting a lot of videos and it's getting shared. And so then they started bringing their weaker cameras. The doc brought the best camera. The media, the cheap media in town brought the lesser cameras. So think about that. Your Detroit Lions are soft. They canceled the cell phone video that you can take that every other team can do because of me. And in the end, it hurt access to you because the others couldn't afford or didn't think about it until they saw me posting for 3 years, video, showing you the teams that were hurt, showing you the players. I mean, come on. Seriously? Why hurt the whole media when you could just tell me, listen, don't take video? You could have done something. And all it was is you can't give opinions off a video. Man, your Lions, man, I think about it now, man, they're pretty soft. That's pretty soft. This is Detroit. This ain't Sarasota, Florida. This is Detroit. So, and of course, they took it negative. And I said to myself, I said on the podcast that same night, I said, I was being positive. I was like, I hope Derek Barnes learns from fucking up against Dak Prescott. I hope he learns and hits that pad and hits that pad and hits that pad. And the Lions bitched. And they thought that they would muscle me. Whoa, I just kept doing it. What are you gonna? You're not gonna muscle me because nothing I did was wrong. It was just sharing an opinion and posting a video. You hurt the other media at my expense, and you let everybody know about it, and it benefited me in some universal crazy way. It benefited me because I was able to post the videos. So that was my favorite one. No more cell phone video. Come on. You gave us 8 minutes. That's what made it tougher was in your head. You drive down 45 minutes to watch 8 minutes of practice in the season. And all they're doing is going like this. Stretching. Go look at all the videos. It's the same. After 3 years, I mean, pretty much I was shooting the same video 40 different ways. Hitting the pad. You know what I mean? So it ain't like you're seeing shit anyway. It's just B-roll shit that, you can put in a story, running around. They don't show you anything. They don't show you anything. So I thought that was funny. The macaroon rule, which benefited me. So that was funny to me because I just felt like it was cool to shoot video. It was cool to cover the team in that way, but they made rules that actually, that one was funny because they made a rule that actually helped me. And I felt bad because really in the end, the fair justice would have been to punish me, not everybody else. That's probably where the media hate started for me. That motherfucker. They're like, oh, he's going to do stuff. Maybe it was their subversive plan that's the start of the media hating me so that way I could fall into their trap and talk about the media and then be called unprofessional. For Detroit, the via conversation would start with their first round pick. Yeah. You got to trade. It just, like I said, it's like the candy shop. You need secondary, not big boys. Go get Surtain and a real number one corner. He turns 32 at the end of the season. So that's why independent media, and that's why I embrace guys like Derek, and I jumped into YouTube. I said, oh, guys, you think the media love you guys in the content world? I mean, you guys are a bridge. You guys are also, you add to the conversation. That's just funny to me. Oh, Edith puts it out there right in the wheelhouse. Would you trade Aleem? I don't know if you can cap wise, but would you trade Aleem McNeil and for Vita Vea straight up? The cap hits, man, it's just tough because your escalators and stuff like that. I shared it. Samuelson, Cochran. Great. Simple. She called me a clickbait clown. A loser. I shared it on X. And also, too, mine was simple. I said, I just trust a little, and you tell me, Samuelson, maybe make me feel better or maybe tell me I was wrong. My post was simple. I trust the internet doctor, Dr. Jimmy Lau, a little bit more than Mike Payton and Lady Clemmy. Simple as that. Nothing wrong with that. And like I said, she has her opinions of me. I think she's a fan of another site. And so when you start talking about the other site, then you get haters. But simple as that. I mean, you can't, like, I'm aware of it. I cannot have everybody love me. But that's nothing personal. And like I said, I think I shared it with her on the Detroit Lions on SI Twitter page. Nothing but love for all the fans. You love me, great. You don't love me, great. But you're not going to sit there and call me a clickbait clown and then just me go, all right. I shared it. She's a nice fan. Clickbait clown, loser, she's a super fan. That's cool. I get it. Now, I get it. I cannot win a battle against the super fans. I can't win. That's why I talk about the slappies. I can't. I think it's very. I try. It's very tough because again, half of the fans want to love up on the players and everything is great. Any criticism, any level of that is inappropriate. So I'm the poster boy for division. And I think your second comment you caught on. What was I getting into? Don't worry about it. What did I get into? Did anything bad happen? Did anything bad happen? I don't think so. Smash the like button for the DOC. And again, nothing personal. She can call me a clickbait clown, but I'm going to defend myself that's not the case. I don't have to do anything for clicks. The audience is there. You show up, you have an audience. And again, see, Samuelson, you didn't even know the story, and you said you went at Clemmy. You don't know the story. Learn the story. It's easy. I posted it. She had some words for me. I had some words back. And hopefully it ends. What do you guys think of Reeder from the Rams? He's a good special teamer. He'll compete with Bocce. And again, guys, remember, in the sports world, it's just a given if you ever are in the media. 50% of the people are going to like you, 50% are not. And also, I went to state, so half of the Michigan fans hate me too. A lot of Michigan fans do love me on the side. They reach out and go, oh, okay, we get you. You're just, a Michigan State super fan. I only acted like a super fan. I only acted like Clemmy when it came to Michigan State. So I can't hate on her. That's why I say I love her. She's great. She's doing that with the Lions, but I'm doing that with Michigan State. But remember, I'm a reporter, and my mission was to critique for the remember, my audience critiques. Her audience claps. It's just a different vibe. It's fine. But if she ever saw me, I hope she says hello. Hopefully one day I get to meet her. She'll love me. Don't worry, guys. Everybody that meets me in person loves me. They all do. You go ask anybody. Tag them. Just go, hey, what's he like? Okay, yeah, on the internet he's bombastic, but what's he like when you talk to him in person? It's like, that's a cool dude. Everybody would have a beer with me. Everybody laughed. And if you didn't know, okay, if you thought that internet world, if you really thought I wasn't aware that this could happen, when I left in the end of minicamp, all right, I said bye to everybody that I wanted to say bye to. You go around the room, you say bye to the rest of the media. I said, I hope to see y'all in the summer. My last words were, but if I don't, it ain't my fault. So it's, listen, come on. It's not like I didn't know when you're giving opinion after opinion after opinion, and you got slappies and you got me and you got the guys that want to hug and pinch the nuts of the players, and you got me. It's just, I'm the outlier. So I had a feeling. That's what I told the guys. I said, hope to see you in the summer, but if I don't, it ain't my fault. Guys, Syndicate's calling it. Rams, Niners, Eagles. A lot of you are saying Bargain Bin Brad is going to sit on his hands again. Unfortunately, it's not Bargain Bin Brad. It's Brad blew the wad. Brad blew his wad. There's a problem with that. They're good players, but there's no money left. Where's the money? Brad, Mr. Brad, where's the money? Gave it to Jimmy Gibbs. Giving it to Samuel Laporta. Giving it to Branch. Give it to Joseph. Give it to Aleem. It's a Toy Story, Syndicate. Derek, it's a Toy Story. Woody is your toy. We all want Buzz Lightyear. Hello, citizens. Well, you don't get Buzz Lightyear. You get Timo Buzz Lightyear. You can't, let's see, that's where to have a little bit of cap room would have been great. Boom, Vita Vea is available. Trade the next day. This is where your general manager, you got to be right in his evaluations. You got to be right. And I think the Lions you feel a little stuck on the defensive side of the roster. You're like, man, all the money's on offense. Maybe that's why Kerby's so salty, is all the money's on offense. Aiden got all the money on defense, and there's none left. Aiden and Jack and DJ, 4 guys got the money. Aiden, Jack, DJ, and Ali McNeil. Anybody else paid? No. 4 of the 11 guys are paid. Aiden, Jack, DJ Reed. Ali McNeil. Where's the loot? Where's the money? Where's the money? Give me the loot. Give me the loot. Give me the loot. You don't got it. Where? Derek, can we start a charity to get some players? Is that possible? I want to boost the Lions salary cap fund charity. Via wants to date Sydney Sweeney too. Doesn't mean it's going to happen. We need more money. We got 15 to 17 million, and it costs 15 to 17 million. And then, of course, he wants an extension. So in the end, I should have wrote it. Someone else already did, but you can't do it. You can't do it. He's a good player too, but I need him at 30. I need him at 28. That extension's the killer. You could float it 1 year, cut someone. Who would you cut? Icewater Olsen. Bucks don't want to give the term to a 32-year-old. Yeah, of course. Should the Lions? No. The problem is, you can't trade for them. It's just it's the idea of them that sounds good, right? So I think the verdict is going to be no. But I know everybody wants them. They should call. Oh, 49ers. Get me the F out if they ain't going to pay me. That's the deal. All right, guys, training camp is 2 days away. Holy cow. I'm going to get out of here. I was supposed to go an hour. I went 90 minutes. That's going to be cool. 7 o'clock, as always. We're going to talk about the Lions even better than before. Maybe add another podcast, maybe join another host, maybe add more shows. We'll have fun with it. But in the end, nothing changes. In the end, basically, the gloves are off in that, we talk honestly about the team. And I think it's fair and honest. And again, if anything that you heard today, and actually, I never cared what the Lions viewed as professional or not. I don't care. And they know it, and I know it. I'm accountable to you. So one of you, pick a job in the chat, join us every day, and you can be the unprofessional alert. And then I can share it every day. Was I unprofessional at all today in my delivery, in my discussion, in my just talking about Kerby Joseph bombing me, talking about Vita Vea? Was there anything unprofessional in your mind in my discussion, talking about Lady Clemmy? Was there anything unprofessional? I answer to you guys. I don't answer to somebody that doesn't give me the same respect to just shoot me a message that, hey, your livelihood could be impacted and your 3 employees could be impacted by your actions. If you don't respect me enough, fine. I 100% am accountable. For those of you that says the fans are so crazy, they're like, he has not been accountable for anything. I've said I've humbly apologized for the attitude I've taken. I want to disrupt and cause chaos and ask the questions that were given to me by the fans. And I wanted to not be a super fan hugging on the team. I wanted to critique and be what a journalist is supposed to be. So that is what I thought I was doing. I thought that was like, okay, you're allowed 1 or 2 people like that. They don't want that at all. But to not know that, to feel a little super kick is fine. It'll never happen again. But I'm not accountable to them. I'm accountable to you, the audience that put me there. And hopefully you realize I fell on the sword for you guys. You said be direct, be blunt, be bold. You're the loyal audience. I was loyal to that. And remember, the audience that grew was that audience. So nothing changed. So from 2019, we had the supporters, and everybody else were critics of us. So we didn't need any more. We have a loyal fan base. You're the loyal supporters here. You're the luscious sources. Was anything I said today unprofessional? Semi-professional. Did anything I say today ruffle you the wrong way? Did I take you out of your safe place? Anybody? And if I did, I humbly apologize. That's not the goal. It's to debate, discuss, understand. That's all I did. What I just did over the 90 minutes was what I did for 8 years. Talk, sarcasm. Did anybody's feelings get hurt? Did anybody cry? The more you think about it, man, the Lions look really soft in their actions. You know, they look really soft. They do, man. They look softer. John used his words to critique a podcast. They can't handle it. They might have cried. I don't know. Hopefully I didn't cause anybody in that media room to have an anxiety attack. I hope not. I was just using my words to review their work, as I did in the story. I wrote the same thing in print that I said out loud. I said, number 8 podcast could use a little work. That's all. But that is the case. The story is written. The gavel has been slammed. But I answer to you. Did anything that I say, and we'll always have that policy for any listener, if you felt anything I said was out of order, you can just comment, John, that was out of order, and I'll look at it. I answer to you, the fine people. Remember, independent media is as important as it ever was. And remember that, voices can be silenced only if you allow it. You can make your voices heard every single day. Keep tagging the beat writers. Tell them, hey, ask this. Don't stop, because then they get comfortable. If you have a question, ask them. They'll talk about it. Maybe they'll talk about it on their podcast, but if you have a voice, use it, because they're the conduit to you. Remember, the issue in journalism, the reason why, and if they want to know, if they care, the reason why the journalists are all broke and that field is crumbling is they've taken the stance of, I want to write for my colleagues. I want all my eloquent, beautiful words to be lovingly adored by my colleagues. When I walk in, I go, look at this beautiful article and deep feature. In the end, I took it as whatever my audience wanted, I gave them. 100%, 105% of what I wrote was what I thought you guys wanted to read. 110%. So, and I think that worked out for me pretty good. They signed Kerby, but they're like, you know what really happened? They're like, fucker, that fucker's gained weight. We got to feed him more. We're like, we got to tighten the food budget. All right, these all guys look skinny. All these other guys got a little skinny. They're like, that motherfucker looked like he gained weight. He's eating all our food. Like, we can cut the food budget. We can cut this. We cut the headache out. You know what happened? The file got too fucking big, and they were like, fucking this guy's file. Every day we're putting, they're like, the interns were like, this motherfucker uses language I never heard of. They're like, do media act like this? The BM movement, semi-professional, luscious sources. They're like, who I'm sorry for the interns. Whenever I saw that the interns followed me, I laughed my ass off. I said, oh shit. I said, oh shit. I'm sorry. You gotta watch. They're like, fucking hey, dude. You know what it was? They're like, fucking hey, now he's doing a 3-hour podcast every night. They were like, before we could just read his articles. He'd do 5 tweets a day. 4 of them were fucking stupid. Now he's doing a 3-hour podcast every night. He's showing up on every goddamn platform, and he's saying everything he's always said, but like 50 more times. They were like, the file went from this thin to like this big in like 1 year. They're like, we have no more room. We got to put some of the rookie tape. We got to find a defensive end. We got to find a cornerback. And it's got like the doc files. They're like, shit, we got to cut that out. Right? They're like, that fucker's getting fat. He's eating all our food. He's eating all our drinking all our Diet Cokes. And he's turning around and pimp slapping us. But again, all love. It opened the door. It makes the show better. And but remember, the playing field wasn't even. The same thing I was doing, others were doing too. Doc was not the only unprofessional one. And to be honest, I was the easiest guy to manage there. Sure, whatever you need. How you guys doing? Like I asked, so my way of doing business was easy. Hey guys, I'd love to talk to Ben Johnson. Here's how I should have acted. All right, maybe would have been a pest. Maybe they would have respected me more. Here's how I should have acted. All right, because here's what happened. I wanted to bring you guys an interview. I'd be like, hey man, Ben Johnson hasn't been on a podcast anytime soon. Lately, can you make him available? They'd wait 3-4 days, get back to me. Sorry, I was busy. No problem. That's it. NP, no problem. That's it. 24 hours later, he shows up on the team podcast. 24 hours later. I feel like, I got it. Now I should have been like blowing up their phone. Why? Why did you do that? Don't you want to come on my podcast? I'm a Sports Illustrated writer. I should have just kept pestering them more. I was easy. I was the easiest voice to control. I was like, sure, because I try, and then I'd be like, fuck this, man. I can't keep asking and them telling me no. Then I'd go another 3 months. Hey, can I get Brad Holmes? No, he's not doing any interviews. You know why Brad Holmes stopped doing interviews? Because that's when I started asking more for Dr. Brad Holmes. So Derek, now we can let the cat out of the bag. I'm kidding. But when Brad Holmes stopped talking and Derek's like, where's Brad Holmes? Where's Brad? Where's Brad? Well, that's when the doc was asking, hey, I want to talk to Brad Holmes. They're like, no. Bro, John's been asking again. That's when I may picked up the pace a little bit more. Hey, how about, they're like, no. That's when Derek was like, Brad Holmes has gone off the rails. That's when I was asking for Brad Holmes to talk. They're like, no, he will not talk to you at all. I always had a place. Like I said, that's how this podcast grew to 12,000 subscribers. It cost me the credential, but in the end, like I said, do I look unhappy? No, it's like I said, and the crazy part is all the media in town that's messaging me is like, man, they called me tame. They call all the media in town are like, babe, man, you're a baby bird. You don't say nothing. I said, oh, I feel good. I felt better. I said, maybe they're blowing smoke up my ass, but they're like, you're a baby bird. You're just talking, saying the same things that you'd say to somebody directly. I was just a baby bird, got eaten alive by Lions PR. Appreciate you, Phil. Appreciate you, Lions Fan Syndicate. Appreciate your support. Your words, I don't know if you saw, your words made an article all over Reddit. Your support of me on your show was clipped, and I got to fair and balanced. One side hated me, the other side showed support. That's all you can ask for in the sports media world. That's really all you can ask for. All right, so today's mission was Kerby Joseph. Where do you fall out? Did Kerby deliver the knockout blow? But hopefully the only mission I like from my end is that you realize I'm a Detroiter. I'm not going to go cover another team. I'm never going to support another team. And hopefully your respect level grows just a little bit more than when we started, knowing that I had to put aside my fandom to do the job as a professional. And the uphill climb that I had to face with all these slappy journalists out there, man, it's tough. And the fans empowering them. Feed me bullshit. Feed me bullshit. Feed me bullshit. So all you can ask yourself is, who do you trust more? Okay. And I can leave you with this, with my head held high. Okay. The only reason I can joke and make AI videos of me being thrown out was it's an exaggeration. I wasn't thrown out. I use my words to create a stir that people couldn't handle. But who do you trust more? Ask yourself this very question. The person that raised the alarm about the offense after 60 minutes. Wait a minute. Wait a stinking minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Your quarterback is saying drastic changes were being made. And behind the scenes, we were hearing a little whispers that Morton and Goff's communication was taking a little time to develop. Big changes were being made. The guys, the Green Bay Packers game last year was not just your run-of-the-mill loss. They played bad. 2 linemen went to the same spot. That's coaching. And I raised the alarm. Now, of course, the next week they dropped 50 points on the Bears, but the cracks were showing in the foundation. Do you trust that guy that said, hey, I think there might be a crack that might form. Go back and make this house look like 2025. Make this house look like 2024. Do you trust that guy or the guy that told you, calm down? It's 1 week. There's nothing to see here. Offensive line's new. John Morton can't develop a run game. John is hyperbolic and sensationalistic. Who do you trust more? And I think that's why I will be employed for a long time. And if I was wrong, I will be sitting here right in front of you and telling you maybe I was wrong. But trust those that are willing to ask the question. Ask yourself, why are people always saying calm down in a sports world when it's based on emotion because we care? Why is everybody saying calm down? We care. Calm down. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. It's going to be all right. You've been fucking saying it's going to be all right for 60 years. Maybe we actually want it to be all right and stop blowing smoke out your ass. And I think that's what it is. I'm real. Most people are real in the sports world, in the sports community, and that's the people I want to talk to. You find luscious sources. Thank you, everybody. Support me. All you got to do, like, comment, and also if you see, the other thing now I got to ask is a little bit of equal and fair, because like I said, the haters can fire off 19 tweets in a row and screen grab everything and be like, he sucks, he sucks, he sucks, he's fake, he's fake, he's fake. I mean, these guys have, some replicatable abilities here. He's fake, he sucks, he sucks, he's fake, he's, you know what I mean? And here's a perfect example, okay? Before I get out of here. The headline of the Max Crosby story was, there is a roadblock that will prevent Max Crosby from coming here. That roadblock's name is Terrion Arnold. That's it. The whole league knew it. Remember, guys, I think the one thing that fans maybe never understand is the team does lie in public. Rod Wood said they were never interested, never ever called him. If a guy grew up in Detroit and has his name on Eastern Michigan, you don't think the Lions have no interest at all in Max Crosby? They never had a chance to get him. They never had a chance once Terrion Arnold's situation took off like that. They were not going to give up first-round picks. That's all. It's roadblock. The response back from some people was, well, you said the Lions were going to trade for Max Crosby. No, I didn't. I never said that. I said that most people across the league believe Brad will pull the trigger one day on that deal. But there's a new issue that popped up that we all think is going to cause a problem for Brad Holmes. That issue is Terrion Arnold. It was a simple source story from someone that told me that. That turned into, from some fans, I think in their delusions, that I said the Lions were trading for Max Crosby because they told themselves, well, Terrion Arnold got defended by his attorney. It's all over. So they told themselves this, and then they formulated that you lied about Max Crosby. I can never debate that because it makes no sense when the headline is there is a roadblock preventing Max Crosby from coming. You don't even have to read the story. The headline is, Max Crosby, there's a roadblock. There's an issue. Roadblock. Maybe the word roadblock shouldn't have been used. Maybe the headline should have been, why Max Crosby ain't ever coming to town, knuckleheads. So how do you debate in the sports media world, and how do you debate fans when your when your headline is so clear and the response is so different. For some people, most people that read the story understood, okay, Terry Arnold has an issue. Lions can't be aggressive. But guys, remember, the NFL world thinks and trusts Brett Holmes that there's going to be an F them picks moment. Maybe one. That's all it said. Was someone told me that. How that turns into, for the dumb fucks out there that don't understand words, I don't know who you are, but it's interesting to read those comments at times because it's so outlandish that you don't address it all the time, but it makes no sense that you said, how do you debate? You said Max Crosby's coming to Detroit. No, I didn't. No, I did not. So that's all. You believe, you pick your lane. And if you want to be in the stupid lane, follow others. The headline was roadblock, prevention. There's something preventing Max Crosby from coming here. And guess what happened? Those people are the ones that were like, Terrion's going to be clear. His defense attorney said innocent until proven guilty. Nothing's going to happen. And that's how the story goes. The doc was like, nah, man, the fans were like, you're a hater. You just want Terrion. You just are. Some people actually called me racist. You're just a racist. I blocked those people right away. They're not worth my time. You're a racist. I said, how? They are talking to these people. There's an investigation. What do you think they're talking to these people about? Do you trust that guy? Or do you trust the guy that sits in his chair, this thing worked? The defense attorney said that he's innocent. He's innocent. Sure, man. All right. I can't compete with that. He's innocent. So, do you know what happens to people who don't understand the English language? They made the list. You made the show. Hopefully you're proud of yourself. But come on, man. Let's raise up the comprehension level. Raise up the comprehension level. Terrion is the defense attorney said it's over, so it's over. Come on, man. Step it up. Maybe. I don't know. Derek versus Anakin. World War V. Thank you, Riley. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully I use my words to explain myself in every issue that comes up. But man, the stuff, like I said, I'd love to debate stuff that's actually kind of real. You know, Vita Vea, why they can get them, who they cut. And soon we will do that. But this will be the last time that, I weave in my own personal stories that long. But I think it was needed. That was a long Friday to Monday and a lot of tweets blasted at me. So we'll go football heavy tomorrow. Football. But I think if you guys like it, like I said, you guys now have two jobs. If it goes too much into personal stories or things you don't want to hear, just type in, move on. I'll respect that. And you guys got to be you are my professional meter, not anybody else. All right. Because when the professional meter is not fair and balanced to multiple people, that's not a fair justice. That's not justice. Wait a minute. There's a word. Now I know my word. There was a great injustice in the Detroit sports community. You threw out the doc for the shit that he talked from his brain? Ha! That's an injustice. And I'll correct that injustice. In due time. But remember, you'll never take my sunshine. You'll never take my smile. You can say whatever you want about me, but just know it's give and take. You don't just get to spit out bullshit to me and then me sit on my hands. That's a fact. See y'all later. What'd you think? Let's talk soon. I am the Doc, John Macaroon. I am representing the Detroit Sports Podcast, which I own. Free and clear. My government name is Mr. John Charles Macaroon. You can call me the Doc. You can call me whatever you name, whatever you want. You can call me fake news moron. You can call me clickbait clown. I am whatever you say I am. But I will have something to say about it. You heard? Cake Man, thank you. Longtime watcher, lurking. First time super chant. Free the Doc. The Doc's injustice. I am justice. There was a great injustice in late summer 2026 in the Detroit sports media. A fine, young, Mediterranean young man was going about his business, being direct, being real, opening his mouth and using his words, giving and taking, giving and taking. But when some people caught wind of what he was saying, they couldn't handle it. They crumbled under the weight of his words. Boring. Why? How? When? Where? How come? When? When now? Pre-snap motion. An injustice fell upon this fine young man, but that through that injustice, independent media will continue to rise up, and many people will see that we do not shut our voices in the face of injustice. No, no, no. We talk louder. We call out the dumb fucks out there. We call out those that are speaking ill of Mr. John Charles Macaroon. We never start, but we always sit in the fight. We don't shy away. Maybe I should have shied away from the fights, but we never shy away from the fights. And that's hopefully what you come to love and listen to, and we'll mix in football along the way too, starting tomorrow. Kumite, that's right? Again, hopefully you're entertained, laughed a little bit, and we'll talk hardcore football tomorrow. Like I said, in the chat, if you have anything to say, we'll go back and forth a little bit. And like I said, even those that don't like, we're just having fun, laughing. Again, hopefully you laughed a little bit, you got a little relief in your life, and I did too. I got a little relief from, man, Kerby Joseph is of course, the first guy to tag me repeatedly is like hammering me and telling me I'm not a Lions fan. They talk, you decide. Thank you for deciding on trusting me and sticking with me. It truly, from the bottom of my heart, means a lot. See you tomorrow.